Oh, guys, welcome back to Better Biomed. Holy cow. So guys, I hope that this fixes all my internet problems because I just climbed up on the side of my house. My house is really tall, and I went up there and I pulled open my soffit vent so that I could pull my Wi-Fi router down and route it outside the house. It is an outdoor Wi-Fi router. But I went from red on the kilobits per second to green. We're solid green, which means that I can finally do reliable live streams. Holy cow, guys, I hope this is coming through nice and crisp and clear. I have some mail packages here that I want to open up. These are some surprises. They came in from a company called Phosphorus. There it is. So this one's from Phosphorus, and it's a company that I helped out with one of their troubleshooting issues with medical equipment, and they sent me a gift package. So we are gonna find out together what is inside this gift package. And meanwhile, I'm observing my internet speeds, and I'm testing the internet because I'm gonna start doing real live streams with real companies, and I need fast internet in order to make this happen. So guys, you just have to bear with me here because I'm testing some things out. So if the live stream stops unexpectedly, you're gonna see me reroute some stuff and I'm gonna test it again. But right now I'm green, which means we are super good for internet connection, which is so cool. Okay guys, so mail time. Let's open up the first package from Phosphorus. And let's see what the folks over at Phosphorus sent over to me, because we're going to do a whole separate video with this company sometime where we talk about some of the projects that they've been working on. This was a project with infusion pumps that I was helping them out with, and you know, they are showing their appreciation. Are there any service manuals you're looking for? You know something? The answer is yes. So there's a few items that I tried finding over on iFixit.com, and believe it or not, I couldn't find them. So one of them is for the GE Infant Resuscitator. So it's a transportable infant resuscitator. I've been trying to find the user manual or the service manual for it. And I've seen it out there, but there's one or two websites that want me to pay for it. I was like, come on, man, that's not even right that they want me to subscribe to their service to get a GE manual. If it was GE that wanted me to subscribe, it'd be completely different. So guys, am I coming through nice and clear for you? Audio sounding good? I hope so. You guys? I can't see how many people are on this stream. That's one of the problems with using OBS Studio for doing my stream. I can see the chat finally. They added that feature. That's cool. Anyway, guys, let's open this guy up because I'm kind of excited. So, thanks, man. I'm glad that I finally worked some of this stuff out. I got lots of stuff going on here. Like I can change. You can change my camera angles and stuff, you know, and you can see right there what's going on with my OBS. And then my green screen. So I've been working on this today and yesterday and whatnot to get this all nice and right. So here we are. Right. So guys, let's see. They sent me some coffee. That's awesome. Because everybody knows I could use some more caffeine. So this is Kahawa 1893 Safari Blend. Smells pretty good, man. Oh, I love coffee so much. I do. They sent me a hat, a beanie. Oh, that's a nice beanie too. You guys are awesome. That's a nice beanie. Look at that. It's North Face. Guys, that's a quality piece of gear. And I've got a mug from Phosphorus. Awesome. And I have a hoodie, or not a hoodie, a lack of hood, a pullover, which That's also awesome because this is nice and quality gear. Eddie Bauer, no kidding. You guys, you nuts. You think I wear like brand name stuff? I'm so low class. But look at that. That is some quality stuff right there. You got a pocket. They got their embroidery around the front. It's a good piece of gear. All right. I'll definitely be wearing that. And they sent me a letter. It says, Justin, Phosphorus team and our lab would like to thank you for assisting us in troubleshooting the device connection issue. We appreciate you connecting and making yourself available to speak with us on Zoom call on short notice. You are a great help. Sincerely, the Phosphorus cybersecurity team. Guys, thank you. I am also kind of curious because were you able to get everything absolutely resolved? Because if not, that's what the community's here for. And maybe someday I'll do a live stream with the Phosphorus team so we can actually figure out whatever issues it is that they might still be having. I don't think they're still having any, but who knows? Let's just put it out there. Okay, so guys, that was awesome. That was really awesome. I appreciate that, guys. Oh my God, coffee. It's the first time I've ever received coffee, and I tell you what, I appreciate that. Nice cup too. Nice cup. Okay, guys, and the next box is also something pretty special. Is my camera tracking me? No, it's not. All right. All right. So, this box comes from a gentleman who I talked to at the ICE conference, and I ended up winning a AED. That's right. They're giving away an AED, and I thought, how cool is that? So I entered to win it, and I ended up winning it. And the cool thing is, I've never done really videos on AEDs, so it's fortuitous that I got it because now I can do some videos on it and show you guys about some cool tech that's out there. Since I have never done videos on AEDs that I'm aware of. Not really sure, guys. Catherine, how are you doing, ma'am? That's awesome. Can I have coffee? I'll tell you what. It is not a Yeti mug. It's another brand. I have no idea who that was, but it's appreciated nonetheless. Okay, so let's see what's in here. Let's see what's in here. Okay. So, this gentleman here, I'm going to have him on the channel, and we are going to talk about some of the stuff that he's got an interesting story. First off, and he has this MedDot or MedDot. Anyway, you can see it right here, MedDot.net, and the man is on a mission. I'll give him that. He suffered from a health condition, and he's lucky to be with us today. But I will save that for his live stream because I would love to go over his story and what happened to him and whatnot, and then talk about the program that he's put together and his mission. He's got some interesting stuff, but he's also he's a nationwide installer and remover for all things imaging equipment. So that's how I met him, and that's what we initially started talking about. And then I found out about his other program, his cardiac health program and stuff that he's working on. Just what a cool dude, and he's got some cool stuff that he's working on. But I will leave information in the video description. There has been some times where I've been looking for somebody that can remove my x-ray equipment and remove it kind of quickly. And these guys can deploy across the country, thank goodness. Because usually when that stuff happens, it happens really quick. AED, it is it's not a full-on defibrillator. It is an AED. And I can see it here. Kind of excited because I haven't played around with it yet. But I will do a whole video on it when I have it hooked up to a simulator. Anyway, let's go ahead and put this over here. Anyway, this is Tom Gohn, Gohn. Look him up on LinkedIn. He's a cool dude, And like I said, we're going to have him online, and we're going to talk about some of the stuff that him and his company have been up to. All right. Do you guys hear music playing? Is there music playing for you guys? That's something that I'm still trying to figure out, because like my phone is Bluetooth into the audio, so I can have people call me up, and I can I can answer their phone call live, and you guys can see it. So if people want to call into the show, I might set up like a telephone number where everybody can give me a call when I'm live on the air, and you know, we can talk in person, and everybody can hear their voice. How cool is that? This is an industry first, guys. Industry first. This is not like anybody else's live stream. I am fully committed to bringing you guys the leaders in the industry. You know, we're gonna do a live stream. I'm gonna ask the questions, and you know, I'm gonna allow you guys to type in whatever questions you guys have, and I'm gonna ask them live right on the air. So it's gonna be as candid as possible. So anyway, this is the wow, how cool is this? So this is the AED, and yeah, all right. So he does have some information in here. Very cool. So Mr. Gone, right here, he talks about his program, which, again, I'm going to save it, guys. But he's so committed to this. It says after the age of 45, the risk of having a heart attack climbs. For women, it's 55. It happens every 40 seconds. Ooh, geez, I'm 42, I think. 42. Almost 43. But guys, holy cow. That's really intimidating when people start talking about heart attacks. I am serious about trying to make some sort of turnaround in my life, because I used to love a good drink every once in a while and stuff, and I love food, love food, and I'm just trying to make some changes, man. So anyway, here's the AED. That was a little instruction booklet. This is Defib Tech, and this is the Lifeline AED. These are some cool ones. I like this package that it's in. Got a little manual on it, and it's got your pads and stuff in your little detachable bag right here. Let's see what is in here. Oh, cool. Okay, look at this. Is a total kit. I love it. So it has razors and stuff, because guys, you never know who's going to be the victim, right? It's also got, well, it's got some toothpaste and stuff, but it's got the razor and stuff in here because you might have to shave your person, right? And there's shaving cream. Shaving cream will also help increase the conductivity if it's a geriatric patient. You know, they have dry skin issues, and this will definitely help out. Very cool. That's an interesting little bag. Very interesting indeed. Oh, I see. He added a bunch of stuff in here. I dig it. A bunch of stuff from the show and whatnot. There's a rescue mask. He included some snackies, which I'm not going to include that in there, but I'll tell you what, I do appreciate it regardless. There's some nail clippers. All right. Those could always come in handy. You never know if you have to cut something. And right here is Mr. Gone's address and all his information. Boop. There it is. There it is. Finally, this camera has got some interesting focus issues because it wants to focus on faces. And I'm not much of a face for it to focus on. So we got some smelling salts. Very cool. And a flashlight. You know, this is interesting because I will actually maintain this flashlight and keep it in here. Nobody really thinks about that. About the fact that you might have to do this in the dark. So the fact that there's a little flashlight in this kit, that's kind of cool. That's really cool. I might not include this flashlight in there. I might put like a miniature floodlight or something in there, but a flashlight in your AED kit. That's actually pretty sound. I like it. Let's see. So we have okay. I have some it's not gauze, but it's like heavy duty napkins. We have a biologicals bag because, you know, stuff happens. We have some first responder gloves, which is good. These ones are in a sealed envelope because gloves do break down in the presence of a lot of oxygen. So that's why when we have gloves, like over here on my toolbox, the outer ones always rip and tear super easily. That's because they're oxidizing and they're getting old. It's cool that there's some gloves that are kind of preserved. We have a mask, which has got, unfortunately, a little piece of peanut in there. a little nut. All right, so this is your CPR mask. That is in there too. I am CPR trained. I've been trained every single year for, I don't know, 20 years. Microbial hand wipes, some equipment wipes, of course, to sanitize it after your incident. We have some EMS shears. Now, EMS shears are special shears. They are purposely designed to get under fabric. So EMS shears will have usually a rounded nose of some sort so that you do not cut the skin. So it's designed to glide along the skin, but they're strong enough and serrated so that you can cut through most anything. Like you can cut through belts and all sorts of stuff with EMS shears, especially if they're proper shears. So these ones are stainless. Good on ya. A little booklet about the EMS mask. I'll probably include it in there, even though I don't really need it. And I have another little razor. So I don't really need a second razor in there. So I might take that one and set it off to the side. But all right. So I'm getting rid of the extra packaging because that's not going to be necessary. You know, if you have an incident, you are going to take this and dump it out. That's almost a promise. Okay, so the things that I'm going to transfer over to this kit are going to be the shaving cream, the razor, some cotton swabs, that's always good, and the little medical, what is this, a deployable toothpaste kit. That one's not going to have to be in there, but I believe everything else will be. And this last one here says lip balm and what is this? Is it skin cream? Don't really need that. We've got these ones here. I was kind of expecting the pads to be separate, but apparently they're inside the AED. So let's go ahead and take a look at what this AED is like. I have no clue. I've never seen this model ever. So let's go ahead and put this guy off to the side. Let's see what she does. So first off, I see that I have my pads connector right here up in the handle. That's cool. All right, and the pads are just sitting on the back. So there's a little pouch. I actually like that design. You don't have to open it up to use it. I like that. I really do. I have T25. Looks like, yep, T20 or T25 Torx that are keeping this guy encased. Don't worry, guys. We are going to open this guy up. Not in this video, but we are going to open this guy up for sure. The pads are expired, but that's okay because I'm going to use this as a training unit and we're going to do videos on it. I don't need new pads. Not at all. Let's see, on the perimeter of this guy, there's a on-off, there's a shock. And this one here, aha, a removable battery. Guys, that means that this guy has some longevity to it. That's good. It's really good. Battery is still good. Battery still has a good date on it.
Performing battery test.
Okay. You pop a battery in, it automatically goes into a battery test.
Battery okay.
Battery okay.
Off.
Okay, very cool. So, says battery okay. I have some status indicators up here and one up here on the handle. So it says check pads, do not touch patient, analyzing. Let's go ahead and turn it on.
Call for help.
Okay.
Follow instructions to apply pads.
Okay.
Remove clothing from patient's chest.
So I've got a green indicator here saying that this unit is
Locate
usable.
pads package in back of AED.
It's really lightweight, and I love the handle.
Tear open pads package.
Okay.
Peel adhesive pads from blue liner.
Okay.
Apply pads to patient's bare chest as shown.
Apex and sternum. Right across the heart.
Remove clothing from patient's chest.
Shouldn't-
Locate pads package in back of AED.
Okay, so it's just repeating. Okay. So
Tear open pads package.
it says check pads. So let me tell you what's going on.
Powering off.
The reason that it's going into a loop is because the pads are looking for probably 100 ohms or less. So when you apply those pads, it's measuring resistance across the two, and it's also looking for an ECG signal. It's not a perfect 3-lead. It's a 2-lead configuration, but across the apex and sternum leads to configuration. It gets it, a pretty good atrial to ventricular. It gets you a good cross section of the heart. So that's what it's looking for. And the reason it's not getting it is because the pads are isolated. There's usually like plastic between the two. So it doesn't know that the pads are still in their package. It's just, it thinks I'm stupid. Well, and it might be right. But yeah, that's kind of cool. So I'm going to do another video sometime where I actually explore what's inside this guy. How cool is that? I would love to do a full-on video on this guy. We're hooking it up to an analyzer. We're going to simulate some cardio arrhythmias, and once we simulate them, we're going to see if it will shock, and then we're going to test its shock pattern. Is it stacked shocks? Is there some sort of algorithm where it does like, 2 100s and then a 200 and then 360 or whatever? Again, I don't know this unit. I don't know. Is it biphasic? Is it monophasic? I'd assume it's biphasic. But yeah, I don't know. Have no idea on it. But I do know that I'm going to do some videos on it, and then when I'm done with this guy, I might donate this guy to a college. I might. I'm thinking about it. There's some real good biomed colleges out here in Texas, and I think that would be a super cool thing for them to have, in and around their room. Now, I know that they have them in the building, but the fact that you could maybe open one of these up or hook it up to an analyzer and test it out, that is pretty cool, because the units that are installed in a facility, you don't want to do test runs on those, because if you do, you're going to wear down the battery. The battery cannot be charged. So anyway, hold on, guys. I should be checking up on these messages. You can hear faint music. Okay. This can be used by non-trained persons. Yes, this is well, there is still training, but this is designed for laymen's, which means it tells you to take the pads out, pull them out. It's already connected, so you don't have to worry about that, which is really cool. There's instructions on, they made this as idiot-proof as possible. There's a tab up here. It even shows you a little arrow to rip across. Very cool. Yeah, this is a neat setup. So I'm going to test it. We are definitely going to do that 100%. It's just today is not the day. Now, what I can tell you guys is that there are several different things that you need to check anytime you go up to one of these AEDs. One of them is an active status indicator. They almost all have it. This one here does not really give me a status. I see a little flashing. Yep, okay. So this one here, in order to save battery, it pulses that green once every 10 seconds? Flash. Flash. Okay, about once every 5 seconds. So it's going to pulse this guy. It can't leave it on because if it leaves it on, you're going to wear your battery down. And these are designed to sit in like cabinets in buildings and, you know, just sit there for like a year or so. So, yeah, it gives you step-by-step instructions, tells you to check the pads. When you open this guy up, then it should go down to the next one. We're going to test all that. And then it's going to do analyzing when it gets the values that it's looking for, all right? Yeah, Catherine, I can see right there, Garbled User is saying, are you in the Biomed field? Kind of curious. I work on a lot of medical batteries. Do you use KDEX or other battery analyzer? No. In medical, there is almost always an expiration date on the battery, which you can see right there. There's a little hourglass right there, and that gives you your expiration. The pads also have an hourglass, and they have an expiration. Now, when we do a PM, these are all things that we should be checking, all right? So this is kind of cool. A sealed battery, I guess. I'm so confused. I'm so confused, and at the same time, I'm loving it. Because yes, there's a battery. There's a hidden compartment with a 9-volt on it. I don't know what's going on. What is going on? It feels, let's see where the balance point is. Okay, so if my fingers are here, it clearly wants to go down here by this 9-volt. Now I'm curious what's inside this. I might have to x-ray this guy to see what is inside this battery, because there's a 9-volt, and the 9-volt seems to be the only battery. I don't know. It would be kind of cool if it did run off a 9-volt. Although, I mean, how many charges could it do off a little 9-volt battery? I don't know. Yeah, it feels like this is empty, and it feels like all the weight's up in the front, which is where that 9-volt is. We'll find out. We're gonna run it. So all medical batteries.
Performing battery.
All medical batteries have expiration dates, and there's a rule of thumb I use for all
Battery.
lithium batteries
Powering
and
on.
lead acid, and that's 3 years. Okay, at 3 years, you're done. All right. Let's see. Catherine, you found me on Lewis Rossman. That's kind of cool. I appreciate that. Yes, I do some crazy stuff. That's interesting. I've been a biomed for 10 years now, specializing in component level repairs. Well, that's kind of cool. I'm gonna do some more very, very soon. I've installed more USB ports, high-speed hub and everything, so I can use my screen grab on my microscope, which is right over here. So I can show people right up close. How was Austin? I was in Austin this morning. What a conundrum. Oh my God, guys. Sometimes users are so difficult. And I'm right in the middle of like this work situation because there's a surgery center out in Austin, and I don't know the nature of the situation. That's how bad it is. They called us up like the day before at like 3 p.m. and said, hey, can you help us out? There's some water damage on some equipment. There's some mold growing on the walls. The equipment is in a wet area, and no medical equipment survives long in a damp environment. So it is an immediacy. And anyway, by 7 o'clock the next morning, they wanted everything emptied out anyway. So I took a trip, well, the 7 o'clock, 2 days from that, which was this morning. So I drove down there, Monday? Tuesday morning, like super early. Like I left my house at 6 a.m., drove out to Austin. It's about 3 hours. I got 5 minutes from the location, and the lady that's the project manager for this recovery procedure or whatever said that there's mold and I cannot go in the facility until they get a quote. And I said, I can't give you a quote because I haven't seen the equipment. I need to see what kind of damage we're dealing with, because if it's not worth it, then why give a quote in the first place. Like if there's actual like residual water on circuit boards, you're done. It's over. So anyway, I packed up all my tools. I packed everything up. I have a whole bunch of like supplies, cleaning supplies, brushes, you name it. Like I have it all. I packed it in my car. I left at 06 in the morning and I headed out to Austin. And I got 5 minutes from the door and she said, I can't get in the door unless she gets a quote. So, and then I told her, all right, I can't really quote. It's very difficult. And she demanded some sort of quote. So I gave her like a really high number, okay? And since I gave her a high number, I was like, all right, well, it's gonna be an insurance claim anyway. What do we do? God, I went back and forth with this lady a couple times. It was not easy. And they also have an installed x-ray system. They have an x-ray room with a wall bucky and all that. And when I gave her an itemized quote, she wanted to know why I didn't quote the x-ray room. And I told her, I will not quote an installed x-ray room for cleanup or whatnot until I see it. Because x-ray rooms, not only is there shielding in the walls and stuff, but there's conduit that have the cables running through it. And I don't know the nature of why this room has mold growing in it. If there was a sprinkler head or something that went off, the conduits below the floor probably have standing water. If there's water, that means all those cables that are running through there probably have to be replaced, like outright replaced. And this lady also wanted some sort of warranty on the work. And I told her, I cannot warranty any machine, because it's not like this was even an existing account of mine. Like I have no service history on this equipment. I don't even know if it was working before the moisture situation. And so anyway, I ended up doing some other things in Austin. I had to visit some other accounts and whatnot, and ended up speaking to the doctor, and I told her that, hey, a best case scenario, I can't give a warranty. If you really want a warranty, you should probably go forth and offer your equipment as trade-in, right? And I think she listened to me. She never called me back. But yeah, the doctor was a sweetheart. The lady that was running the project, she was complex. All right, she was a complex person. But so if I feel like I'm really tired, it's because I drove all the way out to Austin. I didn't even get to go in the building to see what I was bidding on. They wouldn't let me, or the project manager wouldn't let me because she says there's mold. But I got to go in to get the equipment out anyway, right? So respirator, who cares, right? So anyway, yeah, that was a not cool situation, man. But I did manage to pick up some test equipment that I needed to test out another medical device. So I stopped by, I borrowed some test equipment from somebody. So it wasn't an unproductive visit, but nonetheless, here I am. I got back from my trip, and then I did a quick live stream just to test and see like if this is a good configuration. Because tomorrow, guys, we are doing a live stream with the guys over at BC Group. And the guys at BC Group, the engineers that designed their test equipment, they're gonna do a live stream with me. And we are gonna take questions. I've got a bunch of questions about, their existing product lineup, plus what they got coming down the pipeline, because they've already told me a little bit about what they got coming down the pipeline. But they're also looking for suggestions from you guys. So if I can get some suggestions for like features that they're looking for in test equipment, or maybe a new type of test equipment that they currently don't handle, I think that they're going to be very enthusiastic to hear what you guys have to say. Anyway, let's see. Man, I haven't even shaved in a couple days. It's so crazy. Hold on, guys. I am reading the comments. I just resurrected a binocular microscope from a damp environment and went worthless to wonderful in 2 hours. Oh, thank goodness that you didn't have any issues with like, well, if mold or something gets around your seals, And you know, those binos, they have gas in those little oculars. And if you have mold or something that affects the coatings, or if you have the gas that leaks out, then they're useless. They're useless. Maybe humidity gets in between the lenses of the oculars or something. Oh my God, the worst for optics is when you have humidity that gets in there, because it either is really difficult to get out, or it leaves a residual pattern on the glass. So it has like foggy lenses, and that is such that means you have to take it apart to clean it in order to get rid of the fogginess. So, God, microscopes are so much fun, but man, I would dump that customer. Well, you know, things happen for a reason, right, man? The doc was a complete sweetheart. I absolutely love resurrecting medical equipment. So anyway, that is this guy right here. Guys, if the audio sounds fantastical, then I think almost everything is ready to go. The only thing I have yet to test out is connecting my Zoom account with the YouTube account. So I don't know how that's going to work, because YouTube is going to use my OBS camera. So there's layers to this. So there's YouTube, there's OBS Studio, and then there's Zoom. So what about a vacuum for a long period of time to let the moisture? It will evaporate the moisture, and that is a good line of thinking, because water in a near perfect vacuum becomes vapor. So it does pull it quite well. But the problem is water, even if you evaporate it, it still leaves behind, you know, its minerals and stuff on the glass, because Zeiss optics are so beautiful that you can tell when even a little bit of fogginess gets on there. But they're so clear. Like, and normally it wouldn't be an issue if both binoculars have the same level of fogginess, but if one of them is offset and one of them appears a little hazy, that's when the doctors notice. So if they're both a little foggy, he'll probably deal with it. But if one of them is cloudy and the other one's not, oh, it's a no-go. Doctor's gonna have a problem. Bjorn, what is going on, man? Good to see you. How's everything over in Belgium? So we are going to have, tomorrow we're gonna have some design engineers for medical test equipment online. And you know, we're gonna just run them through their paces, ask them some questions. So that's why I'm floating. There's two of me on the screens because I'm working with some stuff. Let's see, green screen. There we go. Hey, does that look more professional? I'm just playing around. I'm gonna install probably even more cameras. So I've got 2 cameras here. That camera was glitching. My room camera was glitching yesterday, pretty bad. Now look. It's very windy over there. Yeah, it was over here in Texas too. That's for darn sure. But let's see. Let's go ahead and put this guy back, because over there nobody plays with it. You know, since I have little creatures running around this house, and they're on spring break this week, they like messing with my stuff sometimes. Here we go. It's a cool bag. And there's a little window. Oh, there's a little window right here so that you can see the flashing of the status indicator. It's kind of cool. I dig it. It's a nice set. Well, guys, Millipore RODI. Now there you're talking. Millipore, if you have a Millipore system, like a real good RO system, very good. I did a whole video, I think, on Millipore. Man, it would have been a long time ago, because a lot of the medical staff were using the RO water and drinking it. True, it's very pure water, but here's the thing with Millipore, it's so pure that, remember, minerals, oh really? Minerals always go from a high concentration to a low concentration. So if you are drinking non-mineralized water, you are leaching your minerals that are in your body, in your bones, in your blood, everything, into the millipore water that you're drinking. So what you're doing is you're actually pulling nutrients from your body, because high concentration, your body, low concentration, RO water. And that's why you should not be drinking RO water. It's just definitely a no-go thing. And I don't care what millipore says. That's just regular physics. And it's been a long-standing thing that you should not be drinking RO water at all. Rhody water, that's reverse osmosis, RO. So millipore makes a beautiful reverse osmosis system, and they're really nice. I used to work on them as well, and yeah, you definitely should not drink it, and that's why. Because think about it. Here's something that's really important. Reverse osmosis water is it's super pure, and it's electrically neutral because there's no electrolytes in there. And your human body uses electrolytes, specifically salts mainly, in order for your body to conduct electrical signals from your brain to some pretty important parts of your body, like your heart. And these are why, if you dehydrate yourself, this is the #1 reason why when you dehydrate yourself, you are suffering a chance of stroke and other things. It's not because you don't have enough water. Nah, it has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with the amount of electrolytes that your body leaches out through sweat. And I know I've been deployed to the Middle East and stuff, and I tell you what, I drank 19.5 bottles of water, 20-ounce bottles of water, without having to go and urinate. I had ice crystals, like reverse snow. So ice crystals, like little stalactites and stalagmites, will form on your skin because your salts will, come up to the top. And because it was so hot in the Middle East, they would just evaporate. So it'd leave like these little ice crystals, but it was salt. And so what happens is the salts leach out of your body, especially with RO water, and it gets pulled away from places where you really need those salts, like your brain and your heart. Your pericardium, the sac that surrounds your heart. It's an electrically sensitive area of the body because it takes pulses to fire those organs, and those pulses are very sensitive to the amount of electrolyte in your body. So that's why if you sweat too much, you got to drink that mineralized water. And I'll tell you, if you have a well at your house, some of the best water you can drink straight from the hose. That's coming from a kid from the 1980s, guys, because it's mineralized water. And if you have a well, you're pulling it straight from the aquifer, right? But I'm not a doctor. So anyway, tap water where I am is only 54 microsiemens conductivity. Really? Holy cow. Where is that? That's pretty impressive. That's really pure water. What's going on there? That's pretty cool. I keep my RO drinking water at 10 ppm. DI is 0, yeah. And my tap water is 300, yeah. Little Rock, no kidding. How cool is that? Little Rock. I got some projects over in Arkansas that they asked me to try and quote out just a week or two ago. And I don't even know if we quoted it. Still might. I was completely tapped out for crew, so maybe that's why we didn't quote, is because we were stretched thin as it was. But I now freed up my Atlanta team. So I had a team that was going to head out to Atlanta, and now they're not. So I might have people to go to Arkansas and try and quote that out. I have an Elix 100 clinical in my house. Oh, really? So cool. I would have some sort of system in my house, but where my water comes in right by my laundry room, and there's no room whatsoever to install either a water filtration system or an RO system or a DI system. I mean, I would be game for any of that. Actually, you know something? Brandon, you're absolutely right. I'm already here. I'm already doing this. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna raise the curtain and I'm gonna start pulling stuff over here. I was just going through mail because people are shipping me stuff, and you know, I just wanted to give them a shout out and a thanks. I'm gonna do another video thanking some of the people that have donated to the cause. I'll tell you right now, the camera that's above my desk right now is a contribution by a viewer. I super appreciate that because I have invested tens of thousands of dollars into this channel, and people helping to donate, that really means a lot, man. So, but like I said, I'll do a whole nother video for the people that have supported me, man. I do appreciate that. Anyway, let me raise this up. What? Here, let's see if I can get this camera to follow me. Come on, camera. Come on, camera. It's not gonna do it, is it? All right. Let's do split room. There we go. All right, camera. Come on. There we go. Come on, camera. There we go. There we go. Now you're tracking. And now you guys can see what I'm working on. Not very much to see. It is my garage. But, guys, I have a whole bunch of old equipment and stuff I want to share with you guys. And I've been waiting to have my studio set up in order to do it. All right. So let's go ahead and take this guy, sit it over here. Let's see. I've got some stuff here. Some stuff here. All right. What's the first thing? We've done this one. All right. We've done, oh, yes. Yes. All right. Okay, guys. All right. So, I have a whole bunch of cool stuff, old test equipment, and I wanted to share it with you guys, man. Do you use a printer with your defib analyzer? You know, I don't. I don't write outputs on my centrifuges, on my ESUs, or my defibrillators. It's not required. That's usually a local policy. In fact, I disable all that because it's written in your notes on your work order. So I do not need a printer on my defib analyzer. Guys, look at this, Bapco PS97. I bet you guys have never seen that before. So this Bapco, hold on. My camera is, okay, let's look down. There we go. Camera, come on, please stop. Let's see, tap unlock. There we go, okay. So, this guy right here is a Bapco PS97. This is a universal patient simulator, and I'll tell you what, this thing, I found it. What a champ. I found this in a hospital, and they didn't even know how to use it or whatnot. But how cool is this? This thing is invincible. It's absolutely invincible. And take a look. So we have our ECG traces down the side, spring-loaded and through hole, right? Yep. Okay. We have full function buttons, and everything is recessed below the surface, which is super cool because it's not going to get damaged. All right. So we have the ECG leads. I have an RS-232 6-volt input and interface the safety tester. Now, I wonder if this is a whole ecosystem that I'm unaware of, Bapco. I'm gonna have to do my research on it because I have never heard of a Bapco electrical safety analyzer, but now I gotta check it out. Up here at the top, power on, off. There's a battery test. Okay, so this guy's dead. I have a temperature simulator, 89, 98.6, and 104. And we have a series of ports up here. Let's see, pulse oximeter. We got a blood pressure, channel 1, channel 2. So we have arterial pressure. And then I've got my temperature, which I can simulate right here. If I just figure out the pinout on this guy, I could probably do that quite easily. So on the simulations down here, I have a normal heart rate, and there's sub functions underneath it. So I wonder if you multi-press it, if it comes to the other functions. Arrhythmias, so I can throw different arrhythmias up, or I can adjust the ECG millivolts which is important because that all important 1 millivolt per division on the ECG trace. That's really important. I can do a sine, square, triangle, and pulse over here. And I can adjust the different waves. I can adjust the frequency and the ECG millivolts also on this one. The button down here is invasive blood pressure. So I can choose the invasive wave, and I can select the channel because remember there are 2 channels. And I can set the respiration. So respiration, it's checking your respiration rate using impedance over here on your ECGs. And I can set the RPM, that's not revolutions per minute, that is respirations per minute. I can set the ohms and the apnea. Apnea is when, you know, it senses that everything's in all stop. Pulse oximetry. So I can do the SpO2 percentage, and I can set the heart rate through this button right here. Very cool. And then down here, the settings. I've got a 1 through 0 number pad, increase, decrease, auto, setup, and enter. Auto. This thing, I have no idea how old it is. It's clearly old, like really old. I would love to see, like, if there was a Bapco ecosystem. The RS-232, so that you can have it controlled by a computer or by another device, but it has a special interface for the safety tester, which is wild. It's wild, man. So, yeah, so that's the Bapco PS97. Kind of a cool guy. Never seen this one before. And as soon as I seen it, it's sitting down in the bottom of this test equipment cabinet. I had to nab it because I love old test equipment. Love it. Let's see. Yes, please, I'll like the video. Believe it or not, YouTube uses those interactions to judge whether or not I'm good at doing my job. And I have had far too much caffeine. Let me tell you. John, what's up, man? How are you doing? Do you ever ask facilities if they'd like you to recycle something, knowing you'll use it? Good question. I will take things and fix them and try and get them back up. But if I see somebody's throwing something out, it's usually fair game. It's usually fair game. Now, I have done several rebuilds and repairs of stuff that I pulled out of the dumpster. Guys, I am infamous for jumping in a dumpster. Infamous for it. I will do it in a heartbeat. And I took a whole truckload full of equipment up to a Dallas college, and I donated it to their biomedical equipment program, and it's all stuff that I fixed here online. I fix it on the air, usually with live streams, and then I use that to you know, donate to the college course. And how cool is that? So I wish that I owned these items, but these are items that were donated to me by a hospital, and they're, you know, these are just going to get turned in. So as soon as I give it back to the hospital, they're just going to turn them in because they have no idea how to use them. They're missing a lot of the connections, and it's outdated technology. But how cool is this guy? This is one of the coolest things I've ever seen, is this simulator right here. Let's see what else is in line. I have so much cool stuff. Oh, guys, I have a very cool item down at the bottom, but we're going to save that guy to last because that one is top notch. All right, next. I don't know if you guys have ever seen this before. This has an IR blaster. It is a keyboard that is used from back in the day for the old nurse call systems and stuff. And man, it's just, what is this? Infonet. You can see, simple, but there's some annoying things about it too. One is there's no charge ports, right? There's no charge ports to charge this guy. So how do you change the batteries? There's so much material here. You could easily just, I mean, this is extruded aluminum, but all they had to do is put in maybe a little slide for a battery or something. None of that. None of that. If you want to change the batteries, 2 fasteners. You have to take out the fasteners, you have to slide out some of the guts, and then you can change out the battery. But it's a It's a rubber membrane button keyboard, and this guy is it is what it is. It's a keyboard from back in the day that they used to use on nurse call systems and stuff, and it does have some special functionality on the buttons. It says twinkle, tear, paint, wiggle, slide, jaws, swirl, shoot, random, open, close, scan, wipe, reverse, blink, flash, wide. Really odd things. This reminds me of back in the day, one of my first computers I ever had from back in the 80s. This is definitely from the 80s too, right? No, 1994. 1994. Okay. It reminds me of a Timex Sinclair. Now this is probably before most of you guys' time. Given I was born in 1980. Timex Sinclair was my first computer ever, and it was about this size. And it had, what was it? It wasn't VGA. It was a component video. No, sorry, composite. It was a composite video. Single video out, and then you had inputs for audio because you had a tape recorder, and that's how you would save your programs, is on a tape recorder. And that was it. You make your own basic programs and stuff, connects to a TV, and that was my first computer, and that's how I learned back when I was, I don't know, 7, 8 years old, the basic programming language. And it looked just like this. Back in the 80s, days when computer products were durable and they were just nicely built. That's this guy in a nutshell. And I had to have it. It's a piece of memorabilia to a time gone, you know? So you guys know about the Timex Sinclair. That's so crazy. That is so crazy. You guys actually just made my day, because a lot of people, I talk about it and they're completely confused. But guys, thank you for that. I don't feel quite so bad anymore. Put him on the shelf. Hey, hi, camera, what are you doing? I thought the camera was following me, but now it's not following me anymore. Tap block. Hey, there it is. How you doing, Mr. Camera? Okay, so I added it over here to the shelf, my beautiful shelf. Yeah, back in the day, tapes. Love tapes. Okay, what do we have? What? Next item on the list. It's in a wood case, guys. If it is in a wood case, it's worth money because it is rare, it is old, and it probably still works. Anything that comes in a wooden case probably just needs a little bit of love and it's gonna start working. That is no exception with this guy. Let's go ahead and take a look. Boop. I'm gonna tap this guy. We are going to come down. Man, see, I'm gonna get used to this. There we go. It's a gimbal camera. So I wish there was like presets and stuff. No, I do have presets. You're so crazy. Look at this, right there. Hi, how you doing? And then I got this guy. Look at this. Presets. See? I'm learning, guys. I'm learning. This guy is a vintage defib tester, okay? This is the model DT650. It's made by Electronics Unlimited from Sacramento, California. They're probably not in existence anymore. But how cool is this? Hold on, just 1 second, guys. I have to cover one thing so that I can move about freely. Because the only request that was made for me is, hey, don't show any of the identifying information from the hospital. And you know, I'll respect that because this is hospital-owned test equipment. And I just, you know, I'm such a nut for history that I wanted to share this with you guys. Here we go. Go ahead and throw that guy over there. All right, so here we are. Let's see, that's in frame right there. Okay. So, whoop. There we go. Now you can see it. All right, so this right here is the defib analyzer. It says attenuated output 1000 to 1. So normally you would use this guy here to see the waveform, the output waveform. I don't know what else you would use it for. So normally you'd hook it up to an oscilloscope. You could see the pulse. You could see, you know, monophasic versus biphasic, etc. this is in beautiful condition. These pads right here, they're not pitted. They're nice and smooth. Let's see. I have a little legend over here. 120 BPM. Says 5 plus or minus 10%, 10, 30, 50. I have no idea what that's about. Somebody put their own notes up there. You guys, it wouldn't be this channel if I didn't take things apart. And that's what I'm going to do for you, because I'm curious, what does it look like inside? And look at this. They are wood screws. So that means that they put gussets in the corner, and this guy's just screwing straight into gussets. I so wish I had this device if this was mine to keep. And it's a shame because the hospital's just going to throw it out. It's just going to turn it in. And I want to keep things like this for my wall of history over there. Because, you know, I'm a firm believer that how do we know where we're going if we don't know where we've been? You know, and I think it's fascinating, older technology like this, show people, you know, the way things used to be. What? This thing is simpler than I thought it was going to be. All right, well, I'll tell you what. Why don't I just take this off the case? I can just set it aside because it's that simple. Kind of cool, actually. Here we go. So here's the front side. That is the back side. We have stacked resistors in parallel series configuration, and that is how they dissipate the energy. How cool is that? Oh my gosh, that's so crazy. So there's a couple design choices that I don't really support. One of them is they put the microprocessor right here in between two fasteners, and this fastener for the display is kind of almost pressing up against the little CPU. Let's see, this is a TSC 710 6 CPL. Yeah, very cool. So let's see, we can see over here, I've got several potentiometers for calibration. We've got some dip switches. I have a fascinating little guy right here. I haven't seen a guy like that. It's like a little encoder, rotary encoder. I have no idea. I'm not gonna touch it because this guy is probably calibrated at this moment. But most of these little pots do not look like they have ever been adjusted. They have a little bit of material on them. This one here looks like it's been touched once. That one there's been touched once. But guys, this thing is like beautiful condition. I love old through-hole soldering jobs. This was a hand-built PCB back in the days when there were craftsmen actually doing these kind of things. So one of the cool things I can see is the 1000-to-1 reduction. That's the port right here. And from there, it goes down to some of these resistor stacks. And that is how it gets the reduction. Very cool. I got no leaky capacitors or anything that I can tell. I bet you this guy works absolutely fine. Probably have to test some of those caps. There's maybe one that might be questionable. This guy right up here at the top. Yeah, maybe a little questionable. But yeah, those resistors are beautiful. Look at that. So that is the defib tester. Super simple, man. All right, let's go ahead and put this guy back. Love it. I was expecting there to be power resistors in there, kind of like this guy right here. But I guess the amount of energy by the defib is going to be much smaller than what we probably think. So maybe that's why they did it. Don't know. Hold on, guys. I'm trying to catch up on the notes. Do you use a smartwatch that tracks your health ever? Yes, I do. I have a Samsung smartwatch, and that guy has been through hell with me. It's been through floods with me, been through the freezing cold. I have cracked so many watches over the years, and the only one I have not been able to destroy is the Samsung smartwatch. The glass on there is invincible. I mean, I have been through everything with that watch, and it looks, I mean, the outside edges are kind of wore down, and you can tell that the coating on the metal and everything's wore out, but the glass, there's not a scratch on it. It's crazy. I love that Samsung. Do you have a Welsh Allen service tool license? Good question. Do I have the Welsh Allen service tool? Yes, I do. Maybe sometime I will make some of the software available because, guys, Right to Repair is pushing ahead. And, you know, there was that court case that was just turned down, and that was about using exceptions to the copyright law for manufacturer software to calibrate your own equipment. And the court rejected it. They said that no, the Copyright Office does have the right to create exceptions, which they've always had the right. So even though it's for medical equipment, it doesn't matter. The Copyright Office has the ability to create exceptions for copyright, which means I should be able to distribute the software to calibrate medical equipment openly. I should be able to, because the Copyright Office says that it's everybody's right. If you have the equipment, you should have the right for the software. That's obviously paraphrased, but it's pretty important. I mean, that's pretty impressive in my book. So I'll have a whole nother video on that. I'm probably gonna reach out to Dustin from Avante and talk to him. Maybe we'll do a live stream with him and his crew about the amazing result of that court case, because they were the ones that started it a long time ago when they petitioned the Copyright Office to allow exceptions for medical equipment. And the first couple tries got turned down, but a couple years ago, the Copyright Office said, yeah, we do support that, you know, you should have the right to modify software in order to calibrate your own medical equipment. In other words, the software that runs on a medical device, if you need to modify it to calibrate your own equipment that you own, you can do it. And they upheld that with the court case. What else do we have? Oh, guys, we're getting down to it. We're getting down to it now. I have, oh, by the way, guys, let me just tell you something. I did a video last week on, where is that little guy? On a Variac, you know? I did a video on a Variac, and here's the thing. The power cord on the Variac was damaged, but it was only to the outer insulation. And it's not like these type of power cords right here, where there's only one layer of insulation. There's an outer insulation, and then there's inner conductors that have their own insulation, and there was, where is that stupid thing? Hold on, so I can show you guys. The reason I'm bringing it up is because somebody took the time to write me and tell me that I was an embarrassment to them as a biomed because I plugged it in. Even though, you know, it's in a contained environment, it's in my garage, and I have been electrocuted probably more times than this person. You know, they said I'm an embarrassment to them because I plugged it in. It's my house. This is mine. I own this garage. I'm not renting, guys. And if I want to modify something in my garage, I had people also writing me about the electrical cables and stuff, of how I have an extension cord and stuff. Guys, this is a climate controlled garage. It's climate controlled. And I'm not pulling anything with high amperage through any of these cables. It's fine. It's absolutely fine. But anyway, since that one person said that I was an embarrassment to him, I did take that personally, because there's a lot of stupid shit that people say. But saying, you know, somebody that might have done less for this career field than I have, I mean, I've done a lot of stuff for this career field, and to say that I'm an embarrassment, I have an issue with you, sir, whoever it was that said that. So anyway, this right here, I'm going to show you up close. Come on. This right here is the cord in question, and I didn't really zoom in on the other video. It is just the outer conductor or the outer insulator that is damaged, all right? Big whoop-diddy-doo, all right? So here's the thing. I plugged this guy in, and I turned the voltage up. With nothing plugged into it, means minimal current is going through this cable. Almost none. Almost none. It's minuscule the amount of current that's going through this. Now, if this was really seriously damaged, and I had a load plugged into this guy, then yes, we are talking a fire hazard. Guess what, guys? I have fire extinguishers right here. I have all that stuff. I have a sink right here. If I need to put out a fire, I can do it. It's okay. But this is such a cool environment to test like old things, because I don't want to plug this stuff in a hospital or in a business situation like my company Fobi. I have the luxury of catching stuff on fire here in my garage, and we're all going to learn from it together. Guys, this, because somebody had a problem with me plugging this guy in, it's absolutely ridiculous, all right? And if somebody had seen this in person, it's actually a superficial melt. I don't even know how to show it. Maybe this camera is better. But anyway, oh, there it is. So you can see the inner conductors have not been affected whatsoever. It's just the outer layer. It was sitting against something hot, and it's not even crispy. The cable is not even crispy. Like maybe it happened on the inside. No, it's an external source. But anyway, somebody had to give me their peace of mind about it because I plugged it in. And I do have a problem with that, all right? So, you know, if somebody gives like constructive criticism or something, that's fine. But just to try and break me down as a person or something, that's such garbage. That's absolute garbage. And people like that are not appreciated. So guys, what I have here, this is a regulated power supply. It is 115 volt, 250 watts. It outputs 13.8 volts, 10 amps, constant. This is a heavy boy right here. Old school technology though. Look at those transistors on the back. Yes, sir. This has got a massive transformer in it. I bet you this guy weighs 10 or so pounds. It's very heavy. But this is what? Pyramid Gold Series. Pyramid Gold Series. Yep. Cool. And I bet you it works just fine. I don't even know, what would you use a static regulated power supply for? I don't even know. Because, you know, modern day adjustable DC power supplies, I mean, you can get them for 30 or 40 bucks. I mean, maybe not that handles 10 amps. I mean, most of these will only handle like what, 3 amps, something like that. But yeah, it does have protection mode. Let's see, come on. There we go. So it does have indicators stating when it's got either thermal protection or short circuit protection, or maybe overcurrent protection. Don't really know. The model's PS-12K. Still looks good. I bet you it works just fine. That's another cool find that I had. And now for the main event, guys. The main event. I'm gonna leave this guy over here because I'm gonna test it sometime. The next device is something incredibly rare. It deserves its own video, but guys, I just don't have the time to do it. So that's why I'm doing a lot of this stuff on live stream, because it just makes more sense. I don't have to edit this video footage, and if I say something stupid, well, you know, it's on the internet forever. The next device is probably one of the most amazing electrical safety analyzers I've ever seen. And it's fairly large and it's fairly complex. Let's go ahead and get into it, all right? And for this one, I think I'm going to have to switch. Let's switch room cam. There we go. That way there, you guys can see a little bit more about what's going on. There we are. Okay, so this should be enough space, I think, to showcase this device in its glory. Let's do it, guys. Oh my God. Sorry if that was super loud for you. This is one of the coolest things I have ever seen. What? Okay. Well, that's kind of funny because this is a Bapco. Like the one I just said, like, hey, wonder where the Bapco unit is. Well, here it is. How crazy is that? I forgot that that's the company. This is the MedMaster Safety Analyzer. It has an integrated printer. It has so much stuff going on. If you've seen this front panel, you should automatically be like, whoa. Reason being, these guys right here. You see this? I have 120 volt 20 amp or the 240 volt 15 amp. I've got both of them because I have both of them right here on the back. Check this out. I have the the 20 amp IEC right here, it's hardwired. And when I say it's hardwired, this is a beast of a cable. Check this guy out. Look at that. This is massive. Absolutely massive. So it does have a medical grade cord end. Somebody might have cut this cord a little bit short for their bench or whatever. Right here I can load it's got a metal door and everything. How cool is that to load paper? And this guy pops up. I don't even know what this guy is for. Maybe for my service manual so that I can, go through my PM. I have no idea. But it is that cool, guys. It's got fuse holders on the back because reasons. The RS-232 port, yes. It's got an auxiliary port. Don't know what that's for. I have a sync test, null adjust. It says to adjust, set SA2000 control to sync to ground test and null by adjusting the LCD display to the minimum reading. Check periodically. So is this how you null out your test probe? That's wild. So you have an actual physical port that you have to adjust on the back of the unit to null out your probe. Crazy. I have an auxiliary power out. How insane is that? It's got integrated cord winders for this beast of a cord. All right, let's put this guy down so I can flip it around and show you guys some of the functionality on this guy. This is such a cool device. There we go. Okay, let's see if we can do it and see if I can step over. Okay, so guys, over here, I have a GFCI and limb tester. What? It has an integrated limb tester? Holy cow. Limb is line isolation monitor, and when you're in like operating rooms and stuff, your limb is, the little alarm panel that's on the wall. So it's got a min-max knob, and it's in milliamps. For your limb, you're allowed to go up to 5 milliamps before it alerts. 4.5, it should turn amber and give you a warning. But it has GFCI and limb. So limb is basically a hospital version of a GFCI, which is those outlets that are in your kitchen or your bathroom. They pop and you have to push the button to reset them. That is what a limb technically is for. I did not know that this guy could test it. There's a product test. Don't know what that is unless that's a self-test. And then there's patient lead test. Then over here, I have AC line boost. And I think that button is stuck down in there. Right? Is it? Is it? I think it is. Can I fix that? I don't know. So it's plus 10% or normal. I have no idea why that is. Here's the lowly little power switch over here. Very cool. The safety probe. Now I've got to ask the owners of this equipment if they have the original safety probe. So this would be your test lead. That's where it connects. And that's the one that you would have to zero out on ground, which I would probably do right here to zero out your probe. Anyway, let's see, ground select, you can do external, or it says external or safety. So one of the things that has definitely changed over the years is the terminology for these tests. So now it would be external case leakage, or it would be ground. Anyway, we have external ground input. No idea why we would need that. Reverse polarity. We have a reverse polarity switch. I have a main selector knob here, and it says AC line. Oh. Okay. So I would like for this guy to like maybe get cleaned up a little bit. This is one of those clickety-clack rotary selector, and it feels a little muddy between each of the detents. So maybe this would be one of those things that I would like to take out and clean out. Maybe put some new lubricant in between. So it says AC line, it says 120 on either. I have no idea why it says that. And it says 120 OR, and then 240 volts AC. 120 or 240 volt AC. That makes no sense. 120 on either, I don't know. So I wonder if you have to put it on this selection here to turn on these receptacles. I don't know. Next one is electrical safety ground. Position 3 is volts AC. No idea. Wonder if that tells me my my mains, my voltage up here. Well, we're gonna plug it in just a moment. Don't worry. If I burn my garage down, it's my garage. And then ohms. That's wild. External safety ground, volts AC, and then ohms. So nowadays we would say, you know, what's the modern equivalent? What do they say now? Anyway, ohms is your power cord resistance. So we have int S ground ohms, touch probe to chassis. Oh, earth ground. Okay, so this section right here says touch probe to earth ground, touch probe to chassis. So we would normally be doing the chassis ground. And let's see, we have open neutral, open hot. So this is just testing without your mains connected. And then you would be doing with mains connected. And the next one is EXP, MTL, and patient lead. What the hell would that be? That's so weird. It says S ground closed, and then it says S ground open. So patient leads, be doing these guys over here. Then there's S ground current. No idea. It says test with AC line normal and reversed. Okay. Well, we don't do reverse polarity over here in the United States anymore. It says sync test voltage. Okay. So 120 or 240 volts right here. I don't know if that selects these. No idea. Patient lead test. I say all to ground, sync each to ground, and the next one says each to ground. It's weird. Each to probe, all to probe, each to reference lead. No idea. Man, I'm gonna have to read up on the old school test just to see how the heck we're supposed to do this. There's a calibration check, says normal or to calibrate. No idea what that's for. Got a good keyboard right here. So these are for selecting the leads. And right here you can see 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is how you would select your lead and then the test for whatever type of lead that you're trying to do. And you can adjust your reference lead. That's kind of cool. Now, a lot of this functionality nowadays is all done with a touch screen. So on a touch screen, you would set this test up. It would take a fraction of the time to figure out on a touch screen. But you can adjust your reference lead, and then you can do all. Yeah, that's pretty common. External sync output. No idea. So I can turn the printer on, off, or just feed the paper. We're gonna test that out. Let's go ahead and plug it in. Let's see what it does. If it catches on fire. Who cares? All right. And we're up. We're running. It's error, 120. So it boots up immediately. So let's go to GFCI. Oh, shit. Let's do product test. Okay. So it says 121.8 volts. So that's my mains. I don't understand why it has 2 positions for AC. And let's see, external safety ground, which I have no probe, so none of that's gonna matter. Now I can test the leakage. Kind of cool. And then I would plug my other stuff in. Interesting, guys. Is this not one of the coolest electrical safety analyzers you ever seen? It is massive, absolutely massive. I would love to see when this thing was made. Oh, look, there's a little legend that's hidden inside it. Oh, and it's got actually a lot of detail. Okay. It says printed in the USA. I'm looking for a copyright. That would be the gold for this unit. Is how old is it? Huh. Anyway, it has a good instruction set. I like that. Back in the day when they used to actually have instructions on how to use your stuff. And here it is, it just hides underneath. How cool is that? I dig it. And it's missing one of its stand-up feet. So, yeah. So that is the Bapco. Wow. It's got carrying handles on both the sides. I dig it. I appreciate that. All right, let's go ahead and put it back. What a cool device. Too bad I couldn't keep it. All right. All right, guys. Oh man, I've got a whole bunch of circuit boards and stuff to, there we go. I've got a whole bunch of circuit boards and stuff that we are going to be doing live troubleshooting. I've been waiting to get this setup completely done so that I could do it properly. I can adjust this camera right here. That's in front of me. This camera. I can adjust this one to sit right over my workpiece so that you guys can see live what's going on. It's nice having options. It really is. And you know, plus when I'm working on circuit boards and stuff, you guys can see live what's going on. So if I mess something up, you know, we're all in this together, right? Wow, guys, I have made a mess of my garage, so I have to fix it. Anyway, guys, let's see. The 12-volt lead acid float voltage. That's probably the battery eliminator. Good one. 240 plug is cool. You know, we test things like lasers and stuff with 240 volt, but there's a lot of stuff that you can do with it. I test a lot of 240 volt stuff with a multimeter for leakage against a adjacent ground. Only thing is you can't do a lifted ground leakage test. You'd have to make your own jig that has a ground missing. I did make one, and it had a push button so that it's got a momentary button. So you push it and it opens ground and you attach your multimeter to it. I did make one of those. I did a whole video on it. I also made one for 240 volt. Worked like a treat, it really did. Let's see. The Bapco has more functions than a Sencor PR570. 380 volt kitchen appliance. Yeah, you're right there. Set up the RS-232 data output for another video. Man, I'll tell you what, I want to do a whole video on RS-232 because medical devices, let's see, does this one have it? Most medical devices do have RS-232 output, and that's because it broadcasts like all the stuff that it's seeing. Oh, this one's close. This particular one right here has ports underneath. It's got USB, maybe this one's too new, but medical devices still have RS-232, the DB9 connectors on them, because what they do is they broadcast all their data, all their parameters, and then you use the HL7, which is the Healthcare Language 7, and you write a driver for this particular device that parses the data. So let's say it sends out like a block of data this much, every parameter that you can think of. And what the HL7 does is it will, it categorizes what the driver says. So let's say line 16, the third value over is going to be, let's say blood pressure. So a non-invasive blood pressure. So it's going to say, okay, this position here is your systolic, this position here is your diastolic. And now that the driver knows where that parse is, that's what they call it, parsing, when you find data in a set and you pull it. Then you can send it over to your digital medical record, and all medical devices, almost every single one of them, has the ability to export data. And even the old ones, which I don't even know if I have any old ones, they all had RS-232, because RS-232 serial data is just raw data. It's constantly polling, P-O-L-L-I-N-G, polling. Yeah, look at this. I knew I'd find one. All right, you're probably like, why do you have a tourniquet in your garage? Guys, I have everything. Right here, look right on the bottom. I have a serial interface. Now you can do attachments to your serial interface. So you could do like a scanner for barcodes. That's possible. But you could also do a data node. So I can set this guy up. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll set it up with my laptop and show you guys what the data set looks like that comes out of the serial port. So it just like every 5 or 10 seconds, it sends out it's just a giant string of data, and then your driver parses, what values you're looking for. So if you're looking for invasive blood pressure, you're looking for, let's say, heart rate, you're looking for the patient's temperature, it's going to find those values in the data, and that's how it knows where to put them in your medical record. Let's see. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to... external sync was probably for oscilloscope monitoring. Now, I was almost wondering that if external sync was kind of like a trigger or something. Not really sure. You're talking like data, or you're talking like technology from what, 30 years ago? And I don't know. I think that's kind of cool. It just gets a little annoying that somebody rebranded some terms. So like the electrical safeties, I don't even know if I could do one with that. I'd have to study up, because like opening ground for chassis leakage or external chassis leakage, I mean, they don't call it that, back then. A messy desk is a busy desk. You should see my workbench. Oh, I could only imagine, man. So my desk at work has got some crazy stuff. So one of the reasons I have this, sorry, I'm jumping all around, guys. One of the reasons I have this is because I stuck this on a pole and I scanned it in 3D. I have a 3D scanner here, and that's one of the reasons I built this PC. And it looks beautiful. The 3D model for this Stryker tourniquet, it looks so incredible. I'm going to be scanning a whole bunch of other medical devices, so periodically I'm going to have random stuff here in my shop. But yeah. RS-232 is so widely used that I use it for connecting the security systems for data back. Oh yeah, absolutely. In fact, RS-232 for camera systems is still how some of the systems are being controlled. So you have a console desk that, it sends out RS-232 data, serial data, and that's how you like tell the camera up, down, left, right, zoom in, zoom out. But you know all that. Yeah, serial data is still everywhere. And when we talk about RS-232, that's only one type of serial data. There's several different standards. There's RS-85, which is a 2-wire standard. So RS-232, I think, requires like 4 wires. I think there's like a clock pulse, There's VCC, which is your 5-volt, and then there's what data plus and minus or something. Anyway, there's RS-85, and RS-85 they use for controlling like PLCs, programmable logic controllers. You know, the stuff that you see like in CNC shops and, you know, industrial plants. But yeah, I would love to do a video on serial data. It's such a cool tech. And the fact that it's like 50, 60 years old or so, I mean, just makes it all the cooler. Volcano desk is where you place the objects you're working on in the middle. Unfinished projects on the side. Oh, man. You want to send me something for 3D scanning? That would be so cool. Guys, you find me something cool to scan in 3D, I will scan it, and then I will give you access to my models and let you play around with them. I'm creating a library of items so that if, let's say somebody makes a video game or they're making a movie and they need to create like a 3D hospital environment, they can pull digital assets, you know, like stuff that's already scanned in. And one of the cool things about the 3D scanner is it keeps a lot of the imperfections. So it looks way more realistic. The ESU that I scanned in, it's got like some of the notes and stuff and some of the rub marks on the skin. That stuff is so cool because it looks more realistic than a model that's made by the manufacturer. It's perfect. Let's see. All right, let's do this. Let me put them back up here. Very cool. So I do have a bunch of stuff because I fix medical equipment, guys. You know. All right. You guys, 3D models. Yeah, I'll tell you what, I have some 3D models already up if you guys want to check it out. Let me see, hold on. Let me see if I can find the folder and I'll share them with you and you can check out what I've currently got. I just think it's so cool. But these 3D models are actually kind of big. They're like 13 megabytes. I guess that might not be that big anymore, but I mean, I still think 13 megs is pretty big. And you can zoom in, you can zoom out, rotate it in 360 degrees. It's wild. Let's do Google Drive, 3D scans. And let's see, right now I have the Stryker Smart Pump, I have the 8110, and I have the Walsh Allen 6000 series patient monitor. Hold on, I know I have more scans than that. This PC. Where did I put it? 3D scans, medical devices. All right, yeah, I do. Hold on, I'm gonna upload some of these to this drive so that you guys can check them out at your leisure. It's some real cool stuff, man. I got some test equipment that I scanned in. Yeah, I have a Hospira Life Care PCA. I've got the Glide Scope. Man, I've got more stuff than I thought. Okay. So there it is. Hey, what's up, Booger? What are you? What? What? Guys. Family life, you know? That's what's up. All right, hold on. You got roller skates in my shop, my girl. So now you're a roller skater? Is that what this is? Let's share this. Restricted. Hold on, guys. I'm just opening up the whole folder so that y'all can see it. Done. Okay, and here is going to be the link so that y'all can see it. Control B. Send. Right. So that is my existing. John, thank you so much, sir. I appreciate that. I have to buy USB cables and stuff to set this stuff up better, and I gotta buy an arm for my microscope. This guy over here. Instead of it being on a platform, I'm gonna put it on an arm that's mounted against the wall, so I can just pull it out, bring it down, and I've got HDMI capture for this PC so that y'all can see what I'm doing. Like I'm really trying to make this a real thing, guys. Hey, you see it? Yeah. Look at this. You want to see something cool? Watch this. What?
You put it on there.
I did. See it? And I can share my screen so everybody can see what's going on with my computer.
Wait.
Yeah? Pretty wild? Here, can you put that over here, please? One of the things I'm very particular on, guys, is where my tools go. All right, thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Much appreciated. You guys are done? Yeah? Did you fall down?